In ancient Ireland, poets were graded as were the bards of Britain according to degree of mastery in lore and art magic. The Irish poets were called Nafili, and the title of a master poet was Olav. The following piece is from the 12th century Book of Leinster, a rare example of bardic interchange. It's called The Dialogue of the Two Sages. About the time of Christ, when the king of Ulster was Conchofor mac Nessa, Adnai the Olav of Ulster died. His place was bestowed on the poet Fechertne, whose experience and mastery made him a more than likely candidate. But Adnai's son, Nethe, being away to study in Scotland and unaware of Fechertne's appointment, learned of his father's death from the sound of the sea waves as he strolled the shore, and at once he returned to Evan-Macha, capital town of Ulster, to take his father's place. As fate befell, the first man he met on entering the halls of Conchofor was Bricrew, a man who loved to stir up conflict whenever he could. Now Bricrew undertook to bestow the Olav position on Nethe, accepting in return a valuable gift, and remarking only that Nethe as a beardless youth was hardly suitable. Then Nethe plucked a tuft of grass, and uttering a verse of power, placed it against his chin, where it at once took on the appearance of a luxuriant beard. And Nethe seated himself in the Olav seat, and about him he wrapped the robe of 3 colours, the middle part of it many bright feathers of birds, the lower part of it white bronze in colour, the upper part of it bright gold. Chuckling to himself, Bricrew set out to tell Fechertne how Nethe had stolen his Olav ship, and Fechertne in a fury set out for Conchofor's palace to deal with the interloper. But when he beheld the youth who sat in his chair, Fechertne was taken aback by his poise, and addressed Nethe with some civility, stating, however, that he was occupying the chair awarded to Fechertne. Nethe replied with equal politeness and formality, pointing out Bricrew's malicious jest, but nevertheless requesting that Fechertne should satisfy himself that the boy who had unwittingly usurped an already given position was in fact most worthy to be Olav of Ulster. In establishing this, Fechertne addressed Nethe thus, as the bards relate. A question, O child of education, where do you come from? To which Nethe replied, not hard to answer, from a wise man's heel, from a confluence of wisdoms, from perfection of goodness, from brightness of sunrise, from poetry's hazels, from splendour's circuits, from that state where truth's worth is measured, from that measure where truth is realized, from that reality where lies are vanquished, from where all colours are seen, from where all art is reborn. And you, my elder, where do you come from? To which Fechertne replied, not hard to answer, from the width of the pillars of the age, from the fill of the rivers of Leinster, from the length of the hall of the wife of Nechta, from the reach of the arm of the wife of Nuada, from the extent of the country of the sun, from the height of the mansions of the moon, from the stretch of a babe's umbilical cord. A question, O youth of instruction, what is your name? To which Nethe replied, not hard to answer, minuscule and muckle I am, dazzling and highly hard. Entitle me fire's flame, name me fire of word, or noise of knowingness, or fountain of riches, or sword of canticles, or ardent verity of genius. And you, my elder, what is your name? To which Fechertne replied, not hard to answer. Of seers most sure I am chief revealer of that which is uttered and that which is asked, inquiry of the curious and weft of deftness, creel of verse am I, and abundance of the sea. A question, O young man of learning, what art do you practice? To which Nethe replied, not hard to answer. I bring blush to face and spirit to flesh. I practice fear's erasure and tumescence of impudence. Meter's nurture, honour's venture, and wisdom's wooing. I shape beauty to human mouths, give wings to insight. I make naked the word. In small space I have foregathered the cattle of cognizance, the stream of science, the totality of teaching, the captivation of kings, and the legacy